So I'm building this tool called Deployery, and I think a lot of people will use it, and yeah, it's better than n8n in my opinion. It has a lot more potential. It's really just made for agentic workflows. You can make a sandbox, create a sandbox, name it anything, you know. It's gonna boot up in a few seconds. And yeah, let's wait for it. And so here you can sort of, let's just get this out of the way. You can sort of, you have these automation files. This is just an example that is included with every sandbox, but I'll probably remove it or something. But as you can see, this is just JSON, and it is a trigger, a manual trigger, and one step. As you can see, it's a command step, and it simply just uses the input variable. And so if I run it, I just made the sandbox, so if I run it, it's gonna auto-deploy the automation, auto-push it, and then as you can see, I got no input because I actually didn't input anything. If I type like this, it's gonna push it again, and then as you can see, yeah, it got the input right there. And pushing actually has nothing to do with it because it's dynamic, so it could just not push it and this would still be here. But essentially, like, out of the different steps and triggers you can have just the documentation that I'm building. So you can have a schedule trigger. It can be recurring, so like a cron job. So you can literally just make your own openclaw. So this thing. And yeah, there's a recurring schedule, and then you can schedule it once, and then don't worry, because you can have multiple triggers, so you can have multiple dates you can schedule it for. And you can have a webhook, so something external, like, I don't know, say you connect like Stripe to it or something, like you receive a payment, and then the workflow or automation will run. And yeah, and then it runs with these steps. There can be a command step. There can be an automation step, so you can run another automation. In this automation, there's a wait step. It can wait literally any amount of time. You can have an automation that runs for a month, because what it does is it pauses the sandbox. So I can just pause it like this, and then I can resume it, and it'll come back in a few seconds and be in the state that I left it in. Yes. And so you can have these wait steps, and you can have a schedule step too, just like the trigger. It can be a cron job or a timestamp at which it'll resume. And then you can have a webhook. This is really cool. Sorry, I can't speak. This is really cool. This is like my first time actually fucking making a video like this, but yeah, you can have a webhook with a automation resume URL. And so this, you can configure it in other services too. So let me give you an example. So you can send a request, and then in that request, you'll include this resume URL. And so the sandbox will pause after a few minutes of inactivity. And then the servers can process it for like literally any amount of time too, and then come back. And then once the webhook is hit, it's going to wake up the sandbox and run the next step. So you can have a complex automation that your agent, for example, builds, because it's just really simple JSON, and there's actually included skills. So if I look here, there's just the internal files of my project. So there is an automation skill made for AI agents already, which includes just the full JSON schema for the automations. For this basically, it's just a full schema. And It's really simple. There's not a lot of nodes like in n8n, so the steps that I just showed you, they're essentially going to be the same like in the distant future too. So you're not going to have like custom nodes like a Gmail node. You literally just build that yourself because it's really simple with AI and with this tooling. And so for the skill that the AI actually sees, it's told like create your own automations and stuff. They're stored in this directory. You can run them with the CLI and stuff. This is the JSON schema. You can have all these inputs, all these variables and stuff. And that like a standard command output is shown in, so this essentially, and standard errors are shown in the logs for automation runs, and exit codes and stuff like environment variables again. Maybe this can be cut down to like reduce tokens, but it can build an automation flawlessly just by using a skill. And with the sandboxes, what comes pre-installed is the Gemini CLI, the Claude CLI, I can't type, openclaw, codex. But nobody uses the Gemini CLI anyway, but it is free, actually. Side tangent. I actually did build an automation with this that was free to run because it was using the Gemini CLI. And it was essentially like a full-on Telegram bot. And it had to communicate with me through Telegram. And then it would edit its own automation to improve itself on every message. And it added like streaming to the Telegram bot. It added like different steps and stuff it did. It added like tool calls. It started showing me the tool calls it did in Telegram and stuff like that. So essentially, if you want to use AI, you don't use an external provider. You don't really pay in some cases for it, if it's like the Gemini CLI. You use the actual CLI tools that people have spent time building, tools like file edit tools, so like opencode, for example. And then you run them in the headless mode. So like, I'm pretty sure opencode has this, where you can send a prompt. Let's see. I don't think it does actually. At least the way I used it. Oh yeah, prompt, okay. So, come on, man. Nah, I gotta look up the documentation for this, but Claude definitely has this mode where you type -p and then the prompt, and then it's gonna run headlessly. So you can have automations that can run an AI agent in the CLI, in the sandbox with your files preserved and stuff, and then it'll edit its own automation, and then, yeah, stuff like that essentially. But you have the CLI here that the agent will use to actually deploy it. You have your webhook information. You can have like filtering and stuff. This is all just stuff you will just know, I guess, in the future, but I'll document it properly. But yeah, it's just something that I'm building, and hope you guys like it. I'm not sure if anybody actually sees this, because it's literally like the first video on this channel, but should I launch with a UI for the automations, with like a preview and observability and anything? I think I should, actually. I think I should build in observability, but the thing already is essentially works. So you can ask. I'll log in for you. I actually want to show this. I want to showcase this as an example. Hold on. So I logged into Claude. So, let's see. What do I even ask it that's like good for a showcase like this? Okay. Okay, so Claude, can you make an automation that runs Claude, another Claude, headlessly, and asks it what time it is? Although actually I don't know if it has time tools, but let's go with it. So I simply ask it to make the automation. It's gonna trigger the skill. Yep, as you can see, loaded skill. And dude, I'm actually nervous making this video, bro. Like, my voice is shaking and shit. Like, it's fine. So, as you can see, it made it. So it has a manual trigger and one step here. And it's gonna try to run this. Yep. Let's see. No output. Maybe it just says that, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I think the issue is with Claude here because it ran. Maybe it's with this escape character or like new line character. What the fuck? Yeah. Let's see. Deploy logs. So I built out this automation. Oh yeah, as you can see, it responded here. It worked. It's even happy about it. I don't have access to the current time. Yeah. Can you ask it to edit readme? And do so every 5 minutes. Look, it's gonna edit it. It's gonna edit the automation and probably add like a schedule trigger. Yeah. And this is all just running in the cloud, so I can literally just close the tab and it'll be fine. Well, this isn't... That was just my code. I think it's fine, because I already used it. But yeah, you can see it's running the automation here. Yeah. And it finished right there. Yeah. The automation will now trigger every 5 minutes via cron. Ask Claude to append a line with the date time it knows. Skip new runs if one is already in progress. So it did the concurrency too. And so if I run this, let's see what it does. It's gonna push it. It's gonna ask it to edit the readme. Let's just see. Okay, so it didn't have the permission to write the file. Okay, so it did run. Let's see. It should actually, I should probably edit the skills so it actually like proactively tests it first, because it just pushes it. Oh yeah, it added dangerously skip permissions. Oh, and you can see it wants to run it. Let's see. Let's just look at the readme, I guess. See what it does. What the hell, bro? I mean, it did like error only output, I guess. Oh yeah, it's working. So it's being asked. Done. Okay. Oh, it actually did edit it before, I just didn't notice. Okay. So Yeah, last updated, no, this file was edited, yeah. So I can just run it again so you guys can see. So when I'm actually in an automation file, you can just have this button right here. If you didn't notice, there's a pull automation, push automation, and run automation button. And let's just see it again in action. Yeah, there we go. So you can essentially just build your own openclaw in this sort of thing. But yeah, I'm going to continue building, get this to literally a perfect state, and then release. Let me know what you guys think. I think this is really cool for agentic workflows and stuff. And just anything. You can literally just build anything. You can automate your entire life with this shit. Like, oh yeah, actually, hold on. One thing. There's actually snapshotting and forking. So I can fork from a new snapshot. And then as you can see, the file of the state of the file of the README, it has these notes at the end that Claude added. Let's see, it's taking a snapshot over here. And then it spawns a fork, and this one continues running. Oh, I see. So the issue was with the UI currently, because yeah, I can just reload this and yeah, it's gonna connect. So I have to fix that, but it's a UI issue. So, or like a creation triggered from the UI, which is not that great. But yeah, as you can see, the README it has the same content, so you can just spawn these. You can spawn these and then run them in parallel. As you can see, they're running. And then you can like, I'm gonna build in like templates and stuff. You can like share your sandboxes and stuff, and people will be able to, you know, make like their own portable openclaw, right? They can share with others. That's it. It's like a first time making a video like this, but